Hi all, I have a very exciting game to show you from the World Cup 2017. MVL, Maxime Vachier Lagrave, was playing against Alexander Grischuk. Let's have a look. E4. We have now the Guioco piano, so bishop c5, and white castles. Knight f6, d3, d6, c3. This looks fairly standard stuff. a4, discouraging b5. h6, stopping bishop g5. That pin could be annoying. Rook e1, black castles. h3, preventing things like knight g4, bishop g4. a5, that looks a little bit on the odd side. It gives up the b5 square. What's the reason for that? Well, clearly white might have been threatening b4 there, so this looks to be designed against b4, but is there a downside? We have now knight bd2, bishop e6, and now an interesting bishop b5, just using that b5 square, and it does mean potentially double pawns, but also d4. If the knight's not there controlling d4, d4 from white looks more likely. The knight moves, and now actually d4, ed, and now knight takes d4. This looks more interesting actually than c takes, threatening knight takes e6 immediately. If c takes d4, black could play bishop b4, pinning that knight, and it's an even position. So knight takes d4 keeps some interest here. The bishop drops back, and now knight f1, not minding the potential. Well, it's not really tested, but maybe white can actually have doubled pawns there because of the a file, active rook on the a file. Wasn't tested though. Knight g6. White could have also played knight takes b5 as well. So anyway, knight g3, rook e8, bishop c4, c6, bishop e3, queen c7, bishop drops back to a2. So let's have a look at this position. It does look pretty interesting. Things like knight takes e4 look tempting, but there are various tactics in this position. Just as an example, here I think white can just take this, and then bishop takes. This looks like a refutation, yeah. So if queen f3 check, that picks up the rook. So that's a poison pawn there. Okay, so rook e5, queen c2, more pressure there. Knight f3, the rook drops back, and now bishop takes c5, d takes, rook ad1, bishop c8, bishop c4, queen f4, queen d2, bishop e6, white took on e6, and now takes on f4, and now there's quite a few forcing moves from white. e5, the first of many actually. Knight e4 looks to be threatening the pawn now. This is not protected. Black counters with rook g6 hitting this one. If b6, then the knight could jump into d6 here, and after knight c4 hitting or putting pressure on black's pawns here, white stands a little bit better. But okay, we have rook g6, now knight h4 hitting the rook. Now black renews rook takes e5 as a potential idea, but white now plays knight d6 hitting that rook on e8. That rook moves, and now a very interesting move white to play. Can you guess what white played if I give you 5 seconds starting now? So we're reaching a critical position here. Okay, very energetic g3. So what's the idea? Well, black took on h3, nabbed that pawn and scurried back, but now f4, kicking the knight again, and now goes to h7. Is there enough for this pawn sacrifice? f5, rook e7, c4. Look at all these forcing moves. Kasparov referred to this kind of thing as hard pressing in one of his books. And now white play, very interesting move here. which really celebrates that massive knight on d6, that octopus knight on d6. White play, if I give you 5 seconds starting from now, what would you play with white? Okay. e6, yes, threatening all sorts of nasty things. That has to be taken, really. If king h8, e takes f7, threatens knight g6 mate, that's horrible. So yeah, it should be taken. And now we have knight g6 hitting the rook. The rook gets out of the way. It's the only square not hit by a knight. Yeah. F takes. Rook drops back. And now a nice forcing sequence again. Knight e7 check. Now one point is, if king h8, then knight f7 finishes the game. Checkmate. So the king is forced to f8, and now can you see what white played? If I give you 5 seconds starting now. Okay. Knight takes c6. Very nice forcing move here. Now if takes, then there's e7 check. So basically winning the exchange there. Black took on d6, but now knight takes b8. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting combination here. Now in this position, king e7 was played. But yeah, black has lost the exchange in that last transaction. If we have a look at this, knight takes c6 actually did win the exchange, because although e7 was extinguished, white winning that rook is the exchange, winning the exchange. So the exchange down now, but is there any compensation? Check was played here. After king takes, rook d7, hitting all sorts of things, the knight and the pawn here. And the game actually ended in this position. White's exchange up is enough. That entry supported by that knight on b8 is actually quite decisive. If, for example, knight e8, rook takes b7 as an example, check, knight c6, so you can see a5 is going to drop soon. After rook b7, you know, a5 would drop. And once we've got this powerful outside pass pawn, yeah, that's going to be more and more clear that there's really very little point in black not resigning at that moment. So what a game. I thought this was a really impressive game, and I'm quite excited by it. I hope you guys are, boys and girls. So if you like the video, please do like, use the like, and comments, questions, shares appreciated. Thanks very much. With this game, by the way, MVL did proceed to the next round of the World Cup 2017. Thanks again.